Hello and welcome everyone. Today we're going to be looking at one of the many forms of injection or injection vulnerability. And this is the server-side template injection. And we're going to be looking at one of the many tools that we could use to take advantage or to exploit that vulnerability on one server. So that tool is SSTImap. It's a Python tool, open source, as all the tools that I review, or most of them. Is available on GitHub and is super easy to use. So, and if you look at the README file, there is an example of one Python server written in Flask that opens a port and serves a template on the URL/page, and that's the URL we're going to be attacking. By the way, SSTImap, the tool, supports many different templating languages. So you see here a table on the README file, Velocity, this is a Java templating engine, FreeMarker, or Nunjax, Jinja 2, this is Python, many for Ruby, PHP, and many more. So it's super versatile, and yeah, as I say, easy to use. But let's start with an example. So nothing better than an example to see how this works. So I'm going to copy this code example for the Flask server, and here at the top I'm going to create a folder called server. Here I'm going to create a flag just for fun. The flag is going to be called net4 procs. Okay, so that's information in the server that we don't have access for now. And now the actual server, as I say, written in Flask. The only change I'm going to make to this server, by the way, compared to the code example from the README file, is the port, because otherwise I need to run it as a root. So this is a privileged port. I want to change it to 8080 so I can run it without sudo. The other thing is I need to install dependencies, so this requires Flask. So let's start creating a requirements file with Flask. Again, I'm going to create a Python virtual environment and activate it. So when I install the dependencies, declare on the requirements file, it installed those dependencies on my Python environment, not on the system. Okay, so now you can see here VM, so the environment, the virtual environment is activated. I'm going to do the install of the requirements, only Flask, as I said. Now if I run the server, perfect, you see there, running on port 8080. Now, here are some examples on how I can use curl to call the server. The only problem is on the examples from the README file is using the target.com URL. Of course, that's not my address. I'm going to change the protocol to HTTP, not HTTPS, and call localhost 8080. Okay, so that's calling the template. So calling the API, passing the name parameter with John, and I'm getting the template render with a variable here, all good. But also on the README file, you can see it's not only plain text that you can pass, you can also pass this special syntax that executes. So I can do 7 times 7, hello 49. So evaluated a piece of code, and that's the dangerous part of many templating engines. So because you can run any arbitrary code, unless you have a template engine that has sandboxing that of course checks for all these things, you are likely to be vulnerable. But that's a simple test. Now I'm going to open a new window on Tmax and clone this repository. So cloning using Git. Okay, the same. this command has requirements and I don't want to install them on my system. I create a virtual environment. I do pip install, pip being the Python package manager, or one of them. Oops. Yep, that's what happens when you don't switch or activate the environment. So I'm going to do that now. So it was telling me that the dependencies or libraries were going to be installed at the OS level, which is not what you typically want. Okay, so that's all the requirements installed. Now I can run the command. Nice logo. Okay, so I need to pass a URL. So let's pass the localhost with name Santiago this time, my name. Okay. So the command identifies the following injection points. So engine Jinja 2, so identify the templating engine, and yeah, confirm that things can be injected and rendered, and we have access to shell command execution. This is super dangerous. Reverse shells and many other things. So okay, let's try it. How? Well, simply passing the OS shell argument. Oh wow, I'm connected to the server. In fact, if I do flag, netflow rocks. So imagine this scenario. So not a toy server, not running on my same machine, but an actual server running on somebody else's computers, and connecting and having a shell at our disposal. So yeah, very dangerous, very powerful tool as well. And that's pretty much it for today. Again, if you want to know more about this command, how to install it, all the different flags, you can visit the GitHub URL or pentestreports.com/tool/SSTImap. Thank you very much. Bye bye.